The word procrastinator, coming from the Latin pro, meaning forward, and castinus, meaning tomorrow, literally translates as a tomorrow pusher. And the good news is that everyone is a tomorrow pusher. Pretty much all the research agrees that procrastinating is an inherent part of our human nature. So that's the good news. Everyone procrastinates. There you go, you feel better already. But the bad news is that if you procrastinate in the wrong way, it will negatively impact your life. To summarize the latest research, putting things off generally results in low quality work, reduced health, and unhappiness. For example, we know that students who routinely procrastinate get lower grades than their more diligent counterparts. We also know that the 26% of the population who would identify as a chronic procrastinator will avoid going for important medical tests and will also avoid taking vital follow-up treatments. Procrastination, in a nutshell, is a gap that exists between intention and action. So everyone intends to have good health, fulfilling relationships, and a successful career. Of course they do. But getting those things creates a conflict between a part of our brain called the limbic system and another part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex. The limbic system is the brain's pleasure center. So this is the part of your brain that absolutely wants to watch back-to-back episodes of Game of Thrones. This is the part of your brain that wants to dip into your news feed to see if anyone's posted anything interesting since the last time you checked 10 minutes ago. Whereas the prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that wants to get stuff done. So the prefrontal cortex wants to file taxes accurately and on time. It wants to tick all the boxes on today's to-do list. So in really simple terms, procrastination, negatively understood, is giving in to pleasure now at the expense of achievement later. And the more boring or demanding or unpleasant and often high value a task is, the more likely you are to put it off. This is why doing your taxes or having a difficult conversation with an employee is always going to be less attractive than watching Netflix. Now, here's the thing. If it's true that everyone procrastinates, what you then find is that the successful person procrastinates on low-value tasks, and the unsuccessful person procrastinates on high-value tasks. So what you need to do is trick yourself into creative procrastination. You're definitely going to procrastinate, that's certain. But if you decide in advance what you're going to procrastinate on, you'll waste less time and you'll get more done. So, the moment you find yourself having an internal debate between putting off something of high value in favour of doing something of low value, that's a signal that you're definitely facing up to a genuinely high value task, and you should absolutely slap down your limbic system and do it now. And you normally find that once you just sit down to the high value task, it's rarely as difficult as you've been telling yourself, and the emotional rewards that come from making a start on the task are far greater than the ones you would have gotten had you given in to your limbic system. Now, sometimes we put off starting a project until we first research it to death. This is a particular weakness of mine. Sometimes I'll put off writing a new speech until I've absolutely read everything there is to read on the subject. For example, recently I was asked to prepare a talk on a topic that I didn't know a lot about. And so the first thing I did was I went out and I got myself 28 books on the subject, which contained 7,600 pages of information, and I read every single one of them and took almost 200 pages of detailed notes. And whilst it's good to be thorough, it can also be a delaying tactic. I probably didn't need to read 28 books. 8 would have been more than enough. The best way to get started is just to start. And the best time to start is right away. In fact, some time management experts suggest having this as a mantra. Say to yourself over and over again, do it now, do it now, do it now. Another reason why we put off starting things is because sometimes we don't know where we should start. And that's particularly true with large projects. But like the old adage says, the best way to eat an elephant is one piece at a time. And choosing which piece to start eating isn't as important as just getting started in the first place. And again, the emotional rewards that come from making a start are far better than the stress of knowing that you have to make a start. So make a start. Take it one piece at a time. Another thing I like to do is I create a procrastination list of things I'm putting off. So I get really honest with myself and I write down all of the things I know I should be doing but I'm not. And then next to each item, I list the benefits of doing those things, and then I list the cost of not doing them. And I found that just going through that process makes me better at focusing on my high-value tasks, and it allows me to see my low-value tasks for what they are: low value. It seems very unlikely, I think, that your future self will thank you for putting off your high-value tasks in favour of Facebook, newsfeed, or Netflix. So grasp what matters, grasp why it matters, and just do it.